Funny. Hey, my name is Ellie, and I want to welcome you to Storytime with Ellie podcast. Today on Storytime, we're going to be talking about being single again. Being single again can feel both liberating and daunting at the same time. On one hand, you have the freedom to make your own choices and live the life on your own terms without having to consider anyone else's needs or wants. On the other hand, you might feel a sense of loneliness or uncertainty about what the future holds. However, being single again can also present great opportunities for self-discovery and a personal growth. You could take the time to focus on your own goals and interests and learn more about who you are as an individual. Whether you choose to embrace your single status or actively seek out new relationships, remember, being single is a valid, valuable life's experience. We are not broken, we are not failures, we are survivors. So today, I am here to share some stories in our perspectives on being single. Keep in mind that explicit or vulgar language will be used with humor and respect. Let's have an open and engaging conversation with Francesca Villardi and Joseph Santiago. Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Francesca,
Hi.
Joseph.
Hi.
Glad you're welcome today. I'm glad you all could make it. This is going to be
Thanks so
very
much.
exciting. Francesca, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I am a blogger and a author of 2 books. I'm a single mom of 2 girls. I've been divorced for about 9 years now. I was married for 24 years and starting my life over.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Okay, Joseph.
All right. Well, my name is Joseph Santiago. I was married as well at one time. I actually was a single dad as well. Had my kids full custody for almost 15 years. I currently have been doing sales for the last 25 years of my life, and I focus a lot in coaching and mentoring with different types of groups and people. And I do a little podcasting on the side as well.
Yay.
Hey.
Yeah. And then we have Phil.
I'm here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Phil.
Appreciate it.
Phil's going to chime in as well,
All right.
even though he's a happily married man.
Who said what? Who told you that lie?
Phil,
I'm trapped.
We're recording, Phil.
I'm trapped.
You're
I'm telling you the truth.
You're practicing?
I'm
Is that
trapped.
what you said?
I'm trapped.
He's trapped.
Wait. Sorry. All right. Okay, so we're all here today, and we're just going to make, like I said, some humor and just discuss a little bit about being single in today's, I don't want to say today, I'm saying today's world, but on what's going on today out there. We've all been married, but even if you haven't been married, but in a long-term relationship, when it comes to an end, it is devastating for many. And you're left with this, okay, so now what? You know, you're in the, whether you initiated the divorce or whether or not you were, it landed on your lap,
Right.
It's something you have to face and deal with. Now, we'll start with Joseph.
Okay.
You were divorced.
Yes.
Do you want to just give a little bit about kind of
Yeah.
how you got to that point?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my story is kind of, it's very unique because when I met my wife, I was only 18 years old.
Young guy.
I was young. I was 18 years old.
Wow.
Met her, fell in love with her. I mean, it was like the most beautiful woman I ever met in my life. And shortly after we met, soon enough, probably within a month or 2 months, she was pregnant. So in my culture, Puerto Ricans, it's like once you give, when you get into that position, you got to step up and be a man and do what you have to do. So within a matter of 6-7 months, we married each other. I only knew her for maybe 2 or 3 months before.
Dude, this is my story.
Yeah. so so we got married right away, and I have 5 kids with her.
Oh my God!
I have 5 kids
Sorry.
with her, 4 girls, 1 boy, and and don't get me wrong. In the beginning, it was like married to a stranger. right? Because we really didn't know each other. Like I knew her, we were friends. We had our first daughter, and but after a while, we kind of grew up and grew
You grew
kind of a
apart.
little apart.
Very common.
And obviously, I was very fortunate in that part where I got into the mortgage business right away. So I went from being a kid to making thousands and thousands of dollars a year. So my perspective changed a little bit. I was, with different people, and it took a journey, and after a while, after growing and seeing the things that I was doing, because I wasn't perfect, I was young, I realized that this is not what I want, right? This is not what I wanted, and I think she felt the same way, and it wasn't fair to her, it wasn't fair to me, and it was kind of, sudden, but when it happened, me and her had a great relationship still, right?
Amicable.
Amicable, right? But once we got to that point of the divorce part, that's when kind of everything started hitting, right? Because it's new, right? You're starting a new life. What really stirs it up is when another person comes into your life,
Uh-oh.
right?
Jealousy.
That's
Jealousy,
called
yes,
cheating.
right? So another person comes into
Everyone's
your life.
been there.
Another person comes to your life, and it gets on both sides. Me and then with her as well, because obviously now the children are involved, right? See, it's different. You have no kids, you get divorced because there's nothing there. But when you have children, you want to know who's with my kids,
Absolutely.
right? Who's around my
Absolutely,
kids?
yeah.
What kind of role models is this person going to be? So a lot of things start happening, and then it creates some type of animosity, right? If you don't agree with the person she's with, she doesn't agree with the person I'm with, guess what? Now we're bumping heads. Or worse, when you get with the person, you completely change from who you are with her and the kids, because now you're trying to accommodate for this person here with your kids.
Which we don't want to do.
We don't. But sometimes it just happens naturally.
That's because you're thinking with the wrong head. But go ahead.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Joseph. I'm just stating
And
a
that's
fact.
it's a valid point. It is a valid point, but it also has to do with not you really understanding who you are as a person. Still, you're still growing, right? I think that also plays a role as well. So it took probably I say 6-7 years for us to come back to
Wow.
that kind of that comment where like now just the other day for Easter she came over, had the kids over, we had a great time.
My ex came down from New York as well.
Yeah.
And we had Easter together with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
So I cooked for the both of them. And,
Oh, wow. How did you feel about that?
but we also parted amicably. I mean, for what it was. Yeah.
Right. So, like I said, it just all plays a role with it, and who's in the situation, who the right person is, and obviously where's your mentality at, right? Where are you at mentality, your capacity of understanding, forgiving, moving on, and why can't you have an amicable relationship, right? Why does it always have to end ugly?
Right, and we're going to try to talk about that a little bit in this podcast. We're going to have future ones that are going to be more on that topic as well. Okay. But I would like to turn it over to Francesca.
All right.
And same question. You were married, divorced, and when did it come for you, the divorce, the whole
Well,
crashing down?
we were married 24 years, but
Wow.
it was not a great marriage, probably for 20 years. It was a verbally abusive marriage. He constantly put me down and I couldn't do anything right. And, no matter what it was, I was always walking on eggshells. And for me, the moment came when my mom, passed away suddenly. She was, like here today, gone tomorrow.
Yeah, terrible.
And I just realized that life is so short. She was, never sick. And I just said, wow, life is so short. And I can be gone tomorrow. And, I don't want to be miserable. And so really that was my turning point that, I needed to get out. That was it. I needed to get out, and I asked for the divorce, and he was not happy about it because obviously he was controlling and narcissistic, and he wanted the control. And because I decided I was leaving, unfortunately it wasn't, it was ugly. And even still 9 years later, he still won't talk to me. I'm willing to be friends and to, I forgave him for what he did. I owned my own shit. But he can't get past,
It's that,
me leaving, I guess.
it's that pride, that narcissist
That's just
pride.
pride. And
Right.
I'm going to be honest with you, dealing with a narcissist,
Yeah.
that's a whole another
different topic.
topic.
Yes, it
Yes.
is.
Yes.
And he was, well, we've spoken in the past, and she actually wrote a couple great books. Francesca wrote. And that's another whole thing. And that's what it is too. When you leave them, they're not mad. I shouldn't mean that because, oh my God, my love of my life is leaving. They're
Right.
mad because it's a control thing. It's
How dare you?
like, how
dare
dare
you
you?
Right.
dare you
Exactly.
How dare you leave me?
How dare
Right.
you walk when you have one opportunity to
Yeah.
walk out of me?
And-
That's
and-
it. Yeah.
But you did the right thing.
did.
You were smart by taking that move. But it had to take a lot, to do that move because you were comfortable with this person, right? Financially, I mean,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right,
And
and
that was
that's-
a huge thing for me
Exactly.
because we lived a really big life and we had a really big lifestyle, fancy vacations and, toys and all of that. And,
Right.
it was hard for me. I came from a divorced family. He came from a divorced family. I didn't want my kids to go through a divorce. So, that was also weighing on me. And, but, it comes to that point where, how can you be that miserable every single day? And I just was like, I'm just done. Like, I don't care if I have to wash dishes or wipe somebody's butt for a living,
move.
whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like, I was out. Like, I didn't care.
courage
Yeah.
to do something like that. And a lot of people, and it's not just women, there are men also that will stay in an abusive
100%.
relationship because, first of all, with divorce, there's a stigmatism as well, right?
Right.
So there's a lot of people that say, "Oh, I don't want to get divorced because, oh my God, I'm going to be
The statistic. Yeah.
and I'm going to be one of those a failure. I'm going to be this." No, the people that have been in, say, abusive relationships or relationships that are not good, and when they move on, they're freaking warriors, man. I know society's not going to view it like that, but they really are.
Yeah.
And brave to be able to walk away from finances,
Yes.
security, or just having somebody there with you, even bad or good. A lot of times it's an emotional connection that they will have with somebody. And even if it's not healthy, they're attracted or they want that unhealthiness. Don't ask. It's the whole other
Some
story.
people are attracted to the toxicity.
Or
Yes.
they're scared.
Oh, yeah.
Or they're scared of leaving, and they have to say things that to just keep themselves safe.
Yeah.
Right? I have a friend of mine that just recently went through that, where she literally said, "You know how hard it is to be drugged by my hair and sitting there looking at this person that you can absolutely can't stand or hate,
Yeah.
and have to sit there and say, I am sorry. I love you. I don't want to leave. That's gotta be." That's got to be tough.
Yeah. No.
That's going to be a very tough situation. And how do you get out of that? How do you get out of that? It feels safe to get out of it,
Right. And most of the time they're scared. They don't have anywhere to go.
Right.
And they're victims. They become a victim in these situations, which more, light should be shed on this too.
Francesca, I have a question for
Not
you.
this
though.
one though.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, if your mother didn't die suddenly, would you have still been with him?
I probably would have been there longer. I probably eventually would have moved on, but I think that shock of life is so short really kind of lit that fire under my butt to say, I'm out.
Okay. Totally understand that. So
Right.
kind of goes to the next question on do you stay or
do
do
you
you leave? And yeah. Did you play my song? I don't care if we get sued. I have a lawyer. You can't get blood from a stone. But yeah, it's like, okay, so now you hit that you reach that point, right? We've all been there. We all reached that point. Now, what do? It's like, what made you totally? We're gonna go with Joseph first. What made you say, "Fuck this, I'm out"?
So in a way, and it kind of, and it's true. Fuck this or I'm out. But see, in my situation, because I'm a guy, right? It's
You want to stay. Men will stay longer than women. Women will go faster than
it's
women.
not that I want to stay because I'm the one that left, right?
You were the one that left
I'm the one that left her. But the reason why I left her,
because you had another piece of ass.
No, it wasn't that.
thought you
Even
told
though
me that.
it wasn't had another piece of ass. It's obviously it was a constant barrage of things. But the main
Infidelity is the last part of a breakup. I think,
100%,
yeah, totally.
100%.
We fight, we don't like it. Then that's the last part of
It
the
is.
infidelity.
But
Once
as
you
a,
hit that.
but as a man, I remember to this day, I woke up, I looked at her, and I knew that I was done. And the reason I was done wasn't because she was a bitch or she wasn't doing it. She definitely was. She's a great person. I see that now. It's just I was young and mature, and you know what? And I did things on my terms. I made moves on my terms. And what ended up happening was I got tired of coming home, looking in the mirror, and going, "What the fuck am I doing? Why am I doing this? She don't deserve this. I don't deserve this either, right?
No.
So why put somebody through that?" And that was the day. I looked in the mirror and said, "You know what? I don't want to be that person because I know deep down inside I'm a good-hearted person. And for me to do this to a person means I don't respect her. I don't love her. So why would I put her through, drag her through that? Because I mean, talk about safe haven. She was there for my kids. She worked. I mean, it was perfect. I could do whatever I wanted, but why? I wouldn't feel comfortable. That's really what kind of broke.
So that's a good thing.
It
It was
is.
almost like a mutual type of
It was.
okay, and I think they feel it as well. Like even like say like you or whoever initiates all this divorce, the other person knows. They know what's going on, so it's not like all of a sudden. And
Bro, how did
I
you
do-
do it? How did I got it? Because you're
well,
Puerto
we're
Rican.
gonna get to that.
I'm Puerto Rican.
Ooh, I want to know how she took those
But
words.
see, here's the thing.
We're gonna get to that part.
okay, all right.
We're gonna get to that.
She was not Puerto Rican. She's white and Hungarian.
Okay, okay.
Oh, so she was a little easier. Okay, I get it. Yeah. In Puerto Rican, you wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Puerto Rican, I would be dead.
I was,
I kind of steer away from those.
scars.
Yeah. Listen, you haven't seen my bag now.
That's so funny. She's got knives over there,
But she does like knives, so that's
yeah.
crazy.
So, but at least it was something that she probably felt the same thing that you had felt.
Yeah.
And I know with myself, I had said to my ex was the second one. I had said, okay, after all this type of same kind of crap, this and that and the other thing, we're busy running our company, and we focused on the kids and the company.
Yep.
And when it was just done emotionally, it was like same thing. I was like, I think the bus stopped and we have to get off. And he looked at me and said, I think you're right.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it was like, okay,
Yeah.
we're still friends to this day. We had a lot of battles
Yeah.
until we got there, but hey,
There was,
this is it.
there was an expiration.
Yeah, and Francesca, and you could tell us your little story. What made you finally? What happened?
I just every day I woke up, I hated myself. I hated my life. I hated myself. I just was miserable. And I just felt like, wow, I just can't live like this anymore. Like, I don't want to live one more day like this. And I'm not going to stay for the kids. I'm not going to stay, because I'm scared. But it was a journey. I think anybody that's been abused, it's a journey to start. You can't just leave. You can't just say, okay, now I'm sick of this. I'm sick of you. I'm leaving. It's more, you have to really, I started reading books, self-help books. I started like writing little Post-it notes, like,
Develop an exit plan. I always say develop an exit
yeah,
plan.
I did. I did that as well. But I wrote little Post-it notes like, you're okay and you're going to be okay. And
Nice.
you're beautiful, and just to build myself up. And I
That's what I was
started,
gonna ask.
Yes.
It was it for building up? Is that why you
Yes.
felt that? Like you need affirmations? Now, do you feel like going into the relationship, you didn't feel that? Or do you feel that being in that type of relationship caused you to be broken down?
it definitely caused me to be broken down because I was a strong, independent woman. I had my own home in New York. I had my own business in New York. I traveled, and I never took shit from any man. So when we first met, he love bombed me and gave me all of this that I thought, this is what I was looking for in a man and a husband and a father. And so he kind of sucked me in. And then
the
when
shoe
I got,
dropped.
Yeah.
right, exactly.
Then the shoe dropped.
Right. And then I realized, holy shit, this is who I'm married to, or this is who's the father of my children. Wow. Like now I'm stuck.
And now you obviously, so then once you got out, now you're out.
Right.
We're all
Yes.
out, right? We're all single.
Right.
And Phil, you had a question that you started asking him about how
Yeah. So how did you? Because
Get away without getting shot and murdered.
let's be real here.
Okay.
right.
Majority of divorces are initiated by women. I think the statistic is 70%.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How did you talk with people, or did you say, I'm just going to do this and I don't care about the backlash I get? So how
Or did you cut her off for finances?
How did that work? How'd you initiate it?
No, like I said, I was out one night until like 2 a.m.
Oh, you were drunk.
No,
He was bad.
true. I came home.
Best
and
decision.
He was doing bad stuff.
I went to I just woke up and
Poppy was being bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, there you go. Papi was good bad. Dale, don't dale. I got in my head and I started thinking about, getting up and see almost, I think guilt. Guilt.
You had guilt.
I felt guilty as shit. Like I felt
Really?
I felt like I was a horrible person, man. Like
For cheating.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I did because it's like because when there's no repercussions to my actions in 20 years of marriage, you
That's
feel
good
like
to
you
hear
could-
that
you
it
could
was
get
you had
away
some
with
kind of
anything.
remorse.
And the thing is that and like I said, she's a great person, and and it's just did she put up with shit she shouldn't have? Absolutely. What were her insecurities? What was she afraid of? Because I wasn't abusive to her. I didn't beat her ass. I didn't do anything like that.
Okay, so the bus stop.
That was it. I don't.
It was time to go.
It was.
You
And
shake hands and you move off.
I think what happened, honestly, bro.
No.
I think what really happened is when I woke up and I looked in the mirror. I think for the first time ever, I felt that I had respect for her, which is kind of shitty sounding in a way. But I felt that I had enough respect for her where I didn't want to put her through that. I didn't want to put myself through that. I didn't
No,
want
it's
to
not a good
feel
thing.
that.
Not
It's
a good thing at all.
And
Yeah.
then my kids.
Yeah, I was
They
going to
were-
ask you. You have 5 kids.
Yeah.
How did you,
Right.
So
What's up with that?
they all lined up, and I told them that Daddy was gonna leave for a while, and that I'll be here to pick them up. I'll do whatever I can, and I left a year later.
You came back a year later to see your kids?
No. I saw my kids all the
Daddy's
time.
going to go get some milk.
I'll be right back.
Daddy's going away for a little while.
Then
A
I
year
went
later, I
to then I
returned.
went to Costa Rica for about a year and got lost. No, I'm joking. No, I definitely was. I've always been an active dad. I never had a dad.
Sorry,
so,
Joseph.
No, that's okay.
Told you it was an abusive podcast.
I never had a dad, and that shit sucks because when you don't have a dad, you don't know how to be a role model as a dad. So I had to really self-help books and kind of really zone in on it because I didn't want to be that dad. I wanted, even
Yeah.
though I was a statistic now and we ended up being divorced, I didn't want to be that shit dad where because I'm not with her no more, then I just disappear off the face of the planet.
Exactly. You want to still be co-parenting
100%.
the best way you can do it. And it's
Right.
the children you have to do. And Fran, it's the same thing for you, correct? I mean, I think
Yeah.
But to answer your
Absolutely,
question,
yeah.
Fred, that's I think the guilt got to me finally, and I just wanted a clean slate, man.
Okay, so now your slate is clean.
Slate's clean. Yes.
We're all single, right? Francesca, are you single? Or are you
Yep.
married?
Yep.
Are you still single?
Nope.
Otherwise you wouldn't be on this
Still
podcast.
single. That's right. That's right.
And if you are married,
If
you'll be
you're-
divorced by the time you're.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you agreed to do this when you were single, now you're
Wait,
not.
that's
One
her,
or the
wait, her
other.
husband before was peeking in the back. I think he was like,
No.
What's this shit talking going on
That
over
was-
here?
okay, all right, so cool. So here we are, right? We're all single. We're all in this. What's that? We're all in the same boat. What's Zach Brown's song? Fish or whatever. The song about Zach Brown does it.
Okay.
Whatever. I'm not gonna start singing because that's not my forte. Anyway, so we're all in the
Songs
same
by
boat.
Ellie?
We're all single and we're out there. Let's
All right.
let's just tell us just a few war stories that we have with Deedon and
Wow, that was a lot.
I know Francesca's out. So we're going to talk about some of our war stories on dating. Let's just talk about some of that. We're just going to fast forward because we've been through all the shit. We're out there. We're free. We got our freedom. We can make our own decisions.
Sure.
We don't have to answer to anybody, and we're free.
Right.
We got out of jail. We did our time.
Yes.
So let's just talk about what we're doing with our time right now and on the dating scene. Right? We're single again. Who wants to start?
I think we should go to Francesca over there.
Francesca.
Yes, please. Because anymore, I'm just dating so I can write a blog.
I know
Okay.
you're drooling.
I am just dating so I can have a blog the next day.
Me too. I have a book on that. I have a book on it. But go ahead. You start, honey.
So, I mean, I have been on every dating site there was, the paid ones. I've been on, POF and Bumble and, plenty of fish and Christian Mingle, which would be, freaky mingle. I mean, it's just.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, the
been
Lord has
horrendous.
blessed me with this beautiful piece of ass.
Yeah, totally. They're all they're all the same thing. It's all the same shit, just a different name.
Yep. Absolutely.
Exactly. And I mean, some of the dates that I have been on have been just, horrendous. I mean,
Good. Tell us a few about
I
you. At least
I
wanna hear it.
I have gotten more dick pics that I could open up my own Pornhub.
Yes.
Okay. And basically it's like, hey, how are you? I'm good. How are you? Bam, here's a picture of my junk. And it's like, are you joking?
Amazing. I get it. I don't know why they do that. I used to always say the same shit. I'd be like, if I had as many, all the dicks that are in my phone, if they were on the outside of my phone, it would look like a fucking porcupine. And I'm not even kidding you.
So what does that mean? I mean,
It's true.
I don't know what it is. It's like, hello, and all they see a picture. It's like, well, how am I going to identify if I meet you out somewhere?
Yeah.
Are you going to be standing there naked? Go ahead, Fran. Wait, Phil, are we going to get shut down?
Yeah.
Okay, go
Oh
ahead.
my God.
Sorry. I'll go to church
I
Sunday.
had one guy say to me, oh, I see you're Italian. I said, yes. He said, did you get beat with a wooden spoon by your mother? I said, of course, I'm Italian. He said, well, did you beat your kids with a wooden spoon? I said, did you not get the first part? Yes, I'm Italian. He said, well, would you beat me with a wooden spoon? I mean,
Holy shit.
And you said, yes, I'm Italian.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah,
Oh
I mean, I have had a guy, come at me and tell me that, would he likes to dress up as a woman, would I help him with his makeup? I'm thinking, well, if I wanted a real woman, I'd go after one. I mean, it was just
Yeah. Oh my God.
It is really freaky out there anymore.
And you wonder, right, Fran? Like, and I'm sure when you do this application for the dating site, you're not putting that on there. You're probably,
Right.
and I'm only going by because I know, listen, I've done it. I've experimented with that as well. And you'll put on there, you'll actually lie and say, I'm looking for a relationship. No, you'll say some nice shit about yourself.
Yep.
Right, Fran? I mean, we are nice, but you'll say stuff like, looking for a good relationship, I want to be settled. And all of a sudden you get all this crap. Like,
You know why? Because men don't read shit.
they don't read. They're only looking at,
Right.
I
They're only
know
looking
that.
at
But
pictures, man.
I know.
It takes a certain type of guy to actually read your
So
bio.
it's like, didn't you read the memo?
No.
Why are you asking me this stuff? Like, that would go with you and your wife. And you get a lot of swingers on those sites as
Yes.
well. I don't know, Fran, if you had any of those.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I've had a few of those too. But I mean, here's the thing. It's not like I'm out there with my boobs or, I'm
Right.
having all these shots, beach shots, or, I'm dressed well and it's sexy, but it's not like overboard. And I say I'm looking for a relationship. It doesn't matter what the hell.
I actually found Fran's dating profile picture.
Did you really?
Oh, Phil's
Here it is.
stalking you.
Here it is.
Oh, yeah! Look at you. Look at you.
Oh, it's
I
beautiful.
love it.
I might ask her out when we're done with the podcast.
At this point, I might give it a shot, okay? Because I'm done.
Hey, you tried it one way, try the
I'm
other,
telling
right?
you, boy,
That's
I don't know. Listen, I had a friend of mine the other night. She's telling me she was on a. Hope she ain't watching this right now. Sorry, I'm not going to mention any names. She went out with a guy, and he asked her, and this is no lie, if she would strap it on.
Oh my
And
God.
I'm like,
That's
what?
That's different level stuff.
Yeah.
man.
Okay.
And she's like, well,
That-
why would you even ask me to go out with you if this is what you're. That's not what I said on my profile. And he goes, well, I'm just, testing the water to see if you would do that. Why? And like, I've had weird things. I always say to these people, well, isn't there a site for that type of thing?
I know why.
Why?
Because it's
Why?
it's the rule of numbers here, right? If I ask 250 women if they'll do a strap on for me,
You're
damn
bound
near
to get one
of
or
us gonna
two.
say yes, no matter what your
Well,
profile
I don't
says.
think that, well, maybe, but I don't think he had 250 women lined up. I mean,
I'm sure he asked 250 women.
I
Right.
don't- the whole thing is just
Right.
weird. Go on. There's got to be kinky sites like that, though. There's got to be sites out there.
And
all
if there
spam,
isn't,
though.
and
I'm
there
Phil.
isn't, we
Phil,
might
I'm
have
sure.
to get one.
Phil, did
There's
you find
foot
out
fetish
any? 'Cause I'm sure you
sites.
Googled him.
Yes, there's,
For the show.
there are kinky sites. So there is Adult Friend Finder. There is Ashley Madison. There is Tinder, obviously.
Well, I know
Farmers
I'm on
Only.
Ashley Madison right now. Actually,
So, so tell us a little bit about that. I think the conversation has to steer back to you. So you said freaky and she's on it.
I don't think Ashley Madison is freaky. I haven't gone on a date yet, but I just figured let me experiment with this. Not with a strap on, just with.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Wait a minute. Wait, oh, is that what fell out of the bag?
She does have a bag here full of shit. We don't know what it is, but
I told you I got a bunch of. No, all right. I'm sorry. Who's talking?
Okay, so
ahead, Fran.
I want to ask a question here, right? When you all, let's ask the women here, right? When you guys are on a dating site, does it matter which dating site you're on? Because Tinder is mainly specific for one thing,
yep.
right? Or
Right.
what?
So they say.
Right, for one night,
So they say,
whatever,
right.
just whatever. That's what we're trying to say. She's on Christian Mingle,
Right.
and they're asking her to,
Christians
start
are the
dildo up her
freakiest
ass.
people ever.
Right. Yes.
They're the closet freaky ones.
Yeah.
Right.
But what I'm saying, it don't matter. Are you saying the Christians are freaky?
Yes.
Who is a
Yes.
freaky? I think everybody's freaky in their own certain
Oh,
way.
well, we are. I mean, not me, but I'm just saying you guys.
I just say, like, you ask her, like, the profiles, like, you go onto these dating sites, right? You try to meet somebody, depending what part of the relationship you're out of. You know, you really want to meet somebody, but then for a girl, I think you guys get swamped. For guys, I don't know about guys, but like, girls tell me all the hits, and my daughter's like, because my daughter has been on some sites, I'm like, damn, you have that many people that hit you
Yeah,
up.
I think they do. Right, Fran? I would have to
Yeah,
say
absolutely.
that women.
And
oh my God!
You guys
I
get bombarded.
agree.
But the problem is
Yeah.
that everybody's just jumping on. That's a guy. He's not reading your shit. He's going straight to pictures.
All right.
Right.
He's going straight to pictures.
I mean, Fran, where do we say before I jumped into everything?
You're talking about her experiences on the dating websites.
About what?
Experience on the dating websites. And she was telling you.
I do agree
ahead.
with that. I think that guys that send dick pics, I think it's a numbers game for them. I think
is.
that if you send out 100 pictures, maybe 1 out of 100 will say, "Oh my god, I need to see that in person." I don't know. But I do think it's a numbers game, and I think that a lot of the guys that hit you up, again, it's a numbers game. You know?
But for you or for someone like who's not interested in seeing those pictures, or myself, and plenty of us, it's a turnoff. And to us, it's a great thing because then you can just do delete.
Yep.
You know,
Right.
what is that? We swipe,
Swipe
right.
right. Swipe
Swipe
left.
right.
Swipe left.
Or swipe
If
left.
you don't
Swipe
want them,
left.
swipe left.
Swipe
You want
left.
to swipe right. Right.
Depends which site you're on.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I don't understand that as far as. But now,
Yeah.
are you on dating sites, Joseph?
So I tried Facebook dating. You know, Facebook has a dating site.
Oh yeah,
I did hear that.
All right, so I tried. That was the first dating site that I tried. Facebook dating. I met somebody. I thought that this was the one.
You sent her a dick pic. That's what
did it.
happened.
I never sent a dick pic. I never had, because I think it's so stupid. It's so fucking cliche. Like, why are you
Yeah.
sending your dick? That's so stupid.
Yeah,
But
totally.
that it is a numbers game. Like, let me impress you. No, I want to get to know her. But again, I'm different. I'm a little.
I think a lot of women want that.
Huh?
Francesca, don't you agree?
absolutely. Yeah, I want to
think-
get to know you.
Yeah, we want to get to know
Yeah,
somebody.
but the problem is
Yeah.
somebody like me that has a good heart and has educated and has done research on women and understands how women think, it's almost fucking impossible for me to find that one person.
That's pussy repellent.
I got to be a dickhead or an asshole, and then I might get
Yeah.
your attention. And it's true.
No.
I mean,
What was that again? A better asshole?
I have to be an asshole or a
Oh.
dickhead, and I might get attention. Because think
Yeah.
about it, like I've had, listen, and here's the
This
worst
thing
part.
ain't gonna air. I'm
Listen,
sorry.
here's the worst part. I think here's the worst part about dating apps. You find somebody, they like you, you like them, you have a couple strong conversation, and then it just stops.
Yes, and that's because there's so
Yes.
much out there, right? Francesca's going to back me up on this. There's so many people out there on these sites that when you go on there, you really do feel like a piece of meat.
Yeah.
Because I think the first time I was on there, for 3 days, I had 550 applicants, and I call them applicants because they didn't just look at you; they sent you messages. And again, there's various different sites.
Dude, you are a piece of meat up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not even like you could say, okay, okay, I get it. It's discouraging. I wouldn't even go back on because it's like it's the same repetitive thing.
Behaviors.
Hey, how are you? And that's another thing. And then I'll let you guys talk. It's the same thing. Like when you get in there and you're starting to talk to them, it's like 3 weeks can go by and they're still saying hi. How are you?
Because they're
No,
nervous.
yeah.
The fuck?
Where's
Am I
the-
right?
No,
Where's the
that's
content?
that. What?
Like, let's have a real conversation.
That's
No.
No, that's bullshit. Look, hey, I got a life. I can't waste my time.
With the
We're
hi,
gonna
how
say,
are
hey,
yous.
how are you?
Exactly.
And
So let me
then-
show you my
then
picture
we're
of
gonna
my dog.
text.
Let's cut through the chase.
Let's get to it.
Okay, Francesca, what do you think about like, do you think would make a dating site better? Work. Yeah.
Oh my
What's
god!
your opinion?
So definitely, if they had something that could prove that you're real, because there's so many catfish out
Yeah.
there, and that's a whole nother story. You know how many people out there are faking and lying who they are. So definitely, like even if you had to pay, let's say $50 to make sure they did a background check on you and you were who you say you were, I would do that. You know what I mean? To just weed out all that garbage
And how
that's
about
out
you?
there lying.
So I'll give you an example of that. So I had this person contact me. She called me. She's like, "Hey, can I speak to Joe Santiago?" I'm like, "Yeah, this is him." She goes, "Hi, this is Ashley. I'm using a fake name." She goes,
Don't use Ashley Madison.
No, this is Ashley. She goes, "This is from nothing but lunch." I go, "What is that?" She goes, "This is a dating site." So this dating site actually calls you, interviews you, gets all the information from you, and then they have a database of people, and they actually set it up for you. So there's no swiping left, there's no swiping right. They go based upon who you want.
Yeah, but how much does that cost you?
That's the other thing.
Yes, because I
right?
actually
Yeah.
spoke with somebody on
It's
that
like
as well.
$10,000. She's like, I'm like, so what does something like this cost? I'm thinking like, because if you go on the dating sites, it's like 20, 30, 40, $50 or whatever a month, 6 months.
No, this is
Right.
like 10 to
10
15,000. I was going to
grand.
bring one of them on the
15,
site. on this
20,000. I'm
podcast.
like, yeah, tell me about it. I'm like, so you're telling me I have to pay you $15,000. You pick up the dates because they share the pictures and
And
just
you're not even
line it
sure you're
up.
going to get any pussy.
Was fuck the pussy. And let's say I do meet the person that I want and I'm with them. There's no guarantee. There's never a guarantee. So to me, I don't think I can't. I
No.
can't pay 15 grand for the hopes that you're gonna fall in love with me and be with me. I'm sorry.
I agree.
Well,
I agree.
what's that other one that you have to? It's one of the dating sites that you have to fill out like 4,000 questions.
Yeah.
And so I did. I filled out
Is
the
that
4,000
Harmony,
questions.
harmony.com?
eHarmony, yeah,
eHarmony,
eHarmony.
there you go.
And I did. I filled out the questions.
you two
and
never
I
found
paid
each
the
other?
money. And then they set me up with 4 old men. And I'm like, is this all you got? Like,
Yeah.
seriously? I answered 4,000 questions and this is all you got for me.
Because they only have a pool of so many people.
Yeah, and they're probably just recycling them. What's your have you had any stories about how about their personal appearance? I'm just going to tell you a very quick one. Think about yours because each is going to tell it. We're going to each talk about that.
Okay.
And I'm going to just bring up this one particular gentleman who was extremely on the site, handsome man, head of hair. He's a orthopedic surgeon. The whole thing was great, right? I mean, everything was, and we actually spoke on the phone. He seemed nice and bodybuilder and everything else. So we're going to meet up now. And I'm not going to tell you the restaurant because I'm not going to plug for the restaurant.
So this is current. This is current.
Oh, this is like, over a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah, a year and a half ago.
I
It's
think
current.
me and
It's
Joe
current.
should guess what was wrong with him before you answer that question.
I think I've told you the story.
No, you didn't. You didn't.
All right, so hold on. So here we are. I go in. I'm supposed to meet him at this restaurant. I walk in the restaurant. I'm looking around. He never showed up. I walked past him 2 or 3 times.
And you didn't recognize him
I didn't recognize him.
because he catfished your ass.
I'll tell you what the problem was.
my God.
He not only did he shrink about 3 inches, he lost all within the phone call. He lost his hair, shrunk 3 inches, aged about 20 fucking years, and it wasn't the same person that was on that site at all. And when I looked at him, he knew, and he says to me, "Oh, you." Because I said to him, I looked at him and said, "Oh my God, I didn't recognize you." He says, "Well, you probably don't want to, have dinner with me now, do you?" I says,
Oh my God.
"Yeah." I said, "Oh my God." I said, "What the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah,
Why
that-
would you do this?"
That's exactly why.
Yeah.
Because he's an insecure fuck.
Yes, and I think because he's an orthopedic surgeon, and he was, "Well, I figure we can have a lot of conversation." Well, I don't need a conversation with you.
Exactly.
This ain't what I'm here for.
Let me fish you in, and then I'm
Yeah,
hoping with
and-
my See,
Yeah,
that's
so-
just wrong.
Perfect. So
That's
then I was
wrong.
like, "I'm sorry, I did have one drink with him because even though
You
I might have
felt
been
bad?
thirsty,
Did you feel bad?
I did have one. I might have been thirsty, so I did have one drink. I did not eat with him, and I said, "Listen, bud, if you think and he's telling me on the phone when we talked, he's got no luck on these things. Well, this is probably why.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally done. And that was it. That was like one out of a million stories. But go ahead, Joseph, just hear one of your stories on what you've done.
So I had one that we met and I actually drove to her, and she lived probably about an hour and a half away.
Oh my gosh.
So
Wow.
so we had talked, and for a while we went back and forth through text, and then went from text to FaceTime, right? Because I'm quick to like, listen, if this is something, FaceTime me, because that's a quick way to shut anybody that's catfishing you, or it's fake, right? Or they're trying to take fraud. As soon as you say FaceTime, if they start making excuses, oh, my reception is bad, or this and that, you know it's fake, so I move on.
Do you think so, or that maybe
100%.
it's just a bad angle?
No.
They got up, their hair is standing. Because I'll be honest with you,
100%.
I'm not.
Every time I've done it, it's just you could tell when you're getting. Well, some people can't, but I did. But anyways, this girl, that was the test. I said FaceTime, and she goes, absolutely. Here's my number. So I was like, oh shit, then this is real, right? So you get excited because you don't know what it is. I FaceTime, we talked. Great girl, we talked, and we decided after like a month and a half, 2 months almost, okay, let's meet now.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that length of time?
That length. On
That's
her part.
crazy. Did you get
want to be like-
engaged?
No.
He learned that lesson already.
Yeah, I learned that lesson already. No, but I drove over there, and it went great.
That's too long. Too long.
It went great. It is, to me, it's
Yeah.
too long. But
Yeah.
again, those are like you learn, you live,
Yeah.
you learn, And we dated for a while, and then she turned out to be a completely different person than she portrayed to be. And when I say completely different person, I mean completely different person, right? And that to me caught my attention because my kids are my life.
Exactly. Mhm. You,
And
you got
when
young
you
ones.
when you turn on my kids,
Oh.
on one particular
Ooh,
kid,
yeah.
what do I do with that shit? What do you do with it?
Right,
So
yeah.
that was my experience with online dating. And it's just you meet somebody, and it's kind of like Francesca was saying, they give you that love bug, they bomb you with all this love, you're perfect, you do all this thing for me, but then all of a sudden, in an instant, boom, it changed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my stories are not kind of like yours.
I mean, yeah, because you actually were going somewhere with that a little bit. I mean, 2 months to be in a
2 months,
conversation.
and that was her.
Nah,
on her
sugar
stories.
off the pot. I'm
I
sorry.
would have got rid of that. How do you have a relationship for 2 months with a phone?
Because I'm a patient ass guy.
Well, you're too patient. We're going to talk about that.
yeah.
I'm going to get you in my therapy class.
Thank you. I need it. I need that
That's
shit.
too long. You got to like shit off the
Yeah.
pot. But but honestly, with the FaceTime, I don't know how you feel about it, Francesco, but I'm a little bit like I said, if you're having a bad day, and I think after a while, I don't know if it's even that, or you just get so tired of FaceTime. That's why I don't think I could do this anymore. I don't know about you, Francesco, but don't you feel like you're told, I don't want to do the FaceTime. I don't want to do the pictures, or send me a pic. And I just recently send you a pic about what? I could be lying in that picture.
Yeah.
And that might not be me. I could be sending you the same
Right.
repetitive somebody.
Right.
Look, I'm too old for this. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I agree.
I have a thing. We're gonna text a little bit. Then I'm gonna give you my fake phone number. Then we're gonna call each other. Then
I got
we're
a
gonna
bad phone.
FaceTime. Yeah, right. Then we're gonna FaceTime to make sure you're real, and
That's
then
it.
we're gonna meet.
That's the
And
only
this
time I
all
do it.
has to go down within
2
2
weeks.
weeks.
Yeah.
Right. Otherwise,
I
I'm
would agree with
out.
2 weeks.
Oh,
Yes.
right.
It has to be 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
No, you got to get it's like shit or go out the pot. And
Yeah.
you know
But it
what?
also depends, because obviously, depending what age group you're in, right? Like if you're talking about 20, 30 year olds, it might be different. But like I'm 45. Like it's like, come on, I know what I'm looking for. I know what I want. Like, is this shit real or not?
And honestly, I think with all this, just what we said, the best way, as we is organically. If you can meet
agree.
people organically,
I agree.
and now how do you meet them organically? Well, you can go into places and whatever, restaurants, church, grocery stores. If it's going to happen, it will happen. The thing I find too with that, like, this is another thing. Again, jump in, Francesco, if you feel like it, or jump. I feel like nobody gives it time. Like when you meet somebody, again, I went on another date. I usually take people with me. I know it's kind of funny, but I've taken girlfriends with me. Like, come with me to this bar. This person's meeting me. And when you walk into this place, and next thing you know, you sit down, they look at you, and oh my God, and their hands are trying to grab you and touch you. That, to me, something's wrong with that. And I had a friend who actually was with me, and she's like, Ellie, I don't blame you. It's just, why? It's like, I have to be
Like touch you? Like what do you mean? Like trying to get his
Oh
hands
yeah,
on you?
touching
Like,
my legs. Oh my god! And he's
Yeah.
trying to. He's drinking. He was the guy bartender actually said this guy's been drinking. He was supposed to get there at 9. They said he was there like at 7, so he's already drunk. And then he's like, "Don't you feel the same way, Francesca? I mean,
Yeah.
you're a man. You might feel different. I don't want
I
to
went
get
on a-
attacked. I
No,
want to
I went on
talk
a-
to you.
it also depends. It also depends on what the conversation sounded like before you actually met for a drink.
No, everything's always casual
So
with
if
me.
it was always
no, very
casual,
quick, very
okay,
quick.
So if it was
Right.
casual like that, no, that's
No, it's hello. No, I don't talk like
Right,
that because that's not who I am.
Yeah, that's-
yeah.
that's-
I'm
So
not that.
I went on a date and we met up, and it was right. I think it was like in the beginning of COVID or whatever. And I get to the bar. He's like, "Don't worry, I'll come to you." We drove for like an hour to get to me. I'm like, "Okay, cool." We met at a restaurant by my house, and he gets there and he sits next to me, not across from me. And then he's just all over me, trying to touch my leg, trying to put his arm around me, trying
yeah,
to
it's
get
just
close
weird.
to me.
Piece of
And I'm
shit,
doing
bro.
the Karate Kid,
Who
you know,
does
the
that?
Karate Kid, like
You're blocking. You're
"Ah!"
blocking.
Right.
Wax
And
on, wax
finally-
off.
Exactly.
Wax on, wax
And
off.
The waitress comes over and she's like, "Oh, I'm really sorry. It's COVID. We're closing early." I'm like, "Oh, gotta go." And so I was out of there. So he actually called me the next day and said, "Would you like to go out again?" And I was trying to be really nice about it. And I said, "Look, you're just not my speed. You're a little too handsy for me. I'm not really looking for that." Well, let me tell you, he called me every name in the book. It was,
Mm.
I'm
you
like,
go.
seriously? Like, you have an issue and I'm trying to be nice about it. But I mean, this is what happens out there now.
Yes.
Totally. And I think again, it's only our perspective of what we feel. I think men would be luckier. And again, this is not for everybody, for some women, if they were slower.
Yes.
Are we huntress? Maybe we're hunters. That's why we're the huntress. We're the hunters. We want to be the one to look at you. If that's what we want, we're going to just take it.
Yeah. Hey, there's nothing wrong
Like,
with
come on,
that.
friend. We don't want to
Yes.
walk in there and look at you and hi. And next thing you know, you're crawling. I don't even know what color eyes you have.
So let's
Back
take
the fuck
let's,
up.
Right.
let's take a step back real quick because you made a comment that I really want to focus on real quick, if you don't mind.
Of course, that's
You
what we're
s-
here for.
You said organically, right? Think about it. We're talking about the dating sites and all that, but I don't know anybody that has had any success long term with dating sites, but organically, like you meet guys and depending what scenarios you're in, if you're a networking event or if you're at a church function, if you're at a work function, you kind of can share, you feel like there's some type of similarities there and you don't get that because the guy's not going to meet up, you start trying to grope and grab you.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. And it's just, yeah. And that's when and again, I mean, without sounding, obviously we're not virgins. It's not, obviously we're not virgins. I'm sorry,
Oh,
Phil.
we gotta-
put a
Phil,
sound in there.
I know you thought I was one, and I really don't mean to disappoint you. But we don't know, you guys. I know you thought Fran and Francesca and I were virgins coming onto this podcast
Yeah,
tonight.
right.
But yeah, whatever. But no, it's just that it's the that. I mean, you just want it to feel natural. Unless if we're attacking you and that's what you like, okay, fine. But you got to let things ride out. You got to let it. That's if and also pictures, send a picture. I'm talking about a lot of women that I talk to too, and they all say the same thing. And I've talked to friends of mine that actually did go out with guys, and the first night that was it, bang, 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 bang. After 10 dates of that, now they're like, "What's wrong with that?" And I'm like, "Well, you keep, that's what's happening. You keep sleeping with them. That's what you're going to keep getting attracted to those type of men. That's
it.
Nothing's wrong with it at all. If that's what you want to do, it's a great thing. I'm not saying it's not, but don't do that and wonder why you can't get a nice man.
And want something
different.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
I
right,
agree
right,
100%.
right. Yeah, I mean, like when I first got divorced, I wasn't looking for anything serious. I was out there looking
still
for
not.
fun. I was, but after 9 years, I'm thinking I would really like a long-term relationship. This is, and I think that's the energy I'm putting out there, but unfortunately, that's not the energy that's coming back.
Comes back, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the next. No, let's talk about the woohoo. No, let's talk Let's talk about
sex,
Talk about
baby.
sex,
I knew
baby.
you were
I'm talking about
Hey,
you,
let's talk
and
about
me.
you.
All right, let's talk about wait a minute, that just went right to the
You flustered?
Wait,
She's
hold on.
flustered.
I got a little neurotic for a second, or nervous. All right, let's talk about the pros and the cons of being single and being in a relationship. We'll try to maybe touch that a little bit. Like,
Pros and cons of being single.
yeah, pros and cons. Let's go
Yeah.
with the cons of being single and on our own. Let's do that. Joseph, you want to start?
So, I think the cons of being single is that obviously you lack that affection from somebody. You know, when you lay your head on your pillow at night, missing that person that's next to you.
Wait.
So he's
Hold on.
emotional. He's
Hold on,
emotional.
hold on.
No, it's okay.
Joseph,
He's a very
Joseph,
sensitive guy.
Joseph.
Yeah.
I gotta have a glass of water. For this.
All right, tell us that again. What are the cons of?
And the cons of it is
Hold on, go ahead.
when you're at home all by yourself.
Oh, this is a voice. You sound like
You want somebody to be there to look into their eyes, and they're lost into their soul, and they're not there. That's a problem. And yes, I am emotional.
all right, Barry.
I am. But I think that's good. I like that. But
Yeah, that was
I
good.
just,
You should put that on your dating app.
I should.
That little clip. Let's get that clip for him and put it on the app.
I think just not having somebody that you could phone call, how was your day, kind of like, having that one person you could share your day about and stuff like that. And I know my girls, my kids always tell me like, Dad, you definitely are in touch with your feminine side, my feelings. And I think it's because I have 4 girls and a son. Those are the things that I miss about it.
Right, and so you definitely have more of a feminine side than a lot of men. But that's a great thing for women that want a man that's mushy.
You can call me a little bitch. It's not being a
I
bitch.
said mushy. I don't mean it like that. I don't mean it like that. But that's nothing wrong. It's beautiful. And there's a lot of women that are looking for men like that. And then I know I actually talk to women that, because I have more of a masculine side, the yin and the yang. I'm a little bit more on probably more like a man.
Okay.
Not that
There's
I'm.
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I need a little more feminine side to me. How about you, Francesca?
Yeah.
I grew
hold
up, first of all, I'm an only child, and all of my friends were guys growing up. So I was always the
Okay.
tomboy.
Okay.
So I guess I'm a little competitive. I'm a little tough, I guess.
Okay.
So I kind of need a man that has, can put up with it, I guess, or have big enough balls to be okay with it and let me
Okay.
be me. Yeah.
Well, that's important too,
That's
because
100%.
there are a lot of men that are intimidated
Yes.
by strong women, and
Because
it
they're
takes,
weak.
Yeah, and it takes
Yeah.
a certain man to be able to put up with us.
Yes. Right.
I mean, there's times like, my God, yeah, I have to take my pants off. It's where my balls hitting the floor. Because, and Francesca, I know you're the same way. She's the same
Right.
way.
We are.
Yeah, and it's not that I mean, I do need to get in touch a little more with my feminine side. I someday maybe.
But don't compromise who you are.
Yeah. Because
If that's you,
Phil likes my butt.
if that's you, and that's who you are, you
It
can find
is.
somebody that compliments
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
That's-
but
and that's the
sometimes,
key right
I had
there.
a psychic tell me that.
It's true.
That-
You
yeah.
find somebody that can, like, just because those are my cons and I'm like sensitive on that part doesn't mean that.
Well, I can't change anyway. I was just being sarcastic.
Right. If that you don't have those other parts of you as well. You know what I'm saying?
No, I know.
It's just finding
Right.
that person that's compatible and that, like you said, can handle you. Because for a strong
Right.
woman, which you are, since I met you, you're a very strong woman. You need somebody that's able to stand up and be able to support you in that sense as well, right? And most guys
Right.
are intimidated, and then
Yeah.
they show that whole different side of them, more insecure, who you're talking, and then all that little petty shit comes.
Yeah, and that's what bothers me. Like when I do.
Or if you have a lot of guy friends,
Yeah, and like
right
Yeah.
away you're banging all of them.
yeah. Well, not only
Right.
that. how about the-
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
my
true.
God.
Yeah.
That's
You're
crazy.
banging all of
Yeah,
them. And like I have a lot of
Yes.
female friends, so you're banging all your. I'm like, no, I'm just friends. Like I can have a female
Yeah,
friend.
absolutely.
Shit, I'm trying.
What happened? What happened, Phil?
Too late for you.
He
You're
doesn't know
married.
what he's like, I'll try.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. But
No, I mean, I know for me, because I was a strong, independent woman before I met my ex-husband, and he wanted me to be this person that I wasn't. And for so many years, I think that's what happened. I was trying to please him to be this other person. And my girlfriend used to say I was like a flower. And when I was with him, he like took all the sun and made me like
Ooh,
wilt. And
that's
then
not
when I
good.
wasn't with him, I bloomed like who I really was.
took all the water
because
out of the pot.
Wow.
Right. I couldn't be who I was. So I know from this point forward, here it is, either love me or not, but I'm not going to change who I am.
No, and then when you try to change, it just doesn't work because now you're unhappy, and it only makes not for good relationships. And the funny thing is, I think with a lot of these relationships, that's what attracted them to you was your strength.
Right.
Was
Exactly.
who you are. And I would say that like, well, this is who I was. I didn't change. I've been this way since I was born. I was just, who
Right.
I am. And yeah, so it's like, and that's any relationship. You see what you're getting. We tend to ignore it, or we're trying to change it. And that's another whole thing why a lot of
Yes.
stuff.
I had a friend of mine say, and kind of going to this, they all say, that you always have that little voice inside that talks to you, right? And I think a lot of women and men alike, we meet somebody.
Poo-poo it.
Yeah, you meet somebody and you feel them, and then you see those little red flags, you hear it, and we ignore it. We always tend to
Not
ignore
now.
the shit.
Not
But
now.
I'm not saying
No.
you're a different capacity,
Yeah.
a different level. But
Right.
but majority of a lot of people, they never listen to those flags. They don't pay attention to that little voice inside where it's like, there's something off with this. There's something wrong. I even went through that shit
Yes.
not too long ago.
Yeah, I think it's getting in touch with, which is another big thing,
Yourself.
being single, right? Getting out there on your own. You need to get in touch with yourself. You need to grow, know who you are. If you're in a relationship, I know maybe I'm jumping over that. Yeah, I think like too, when you're in a relationship, marriage, and it ends, especially if they're long term. My advice I tell people: find yourself.
Yeah.
Find yourself. When you find yourself and see who you are, it's easier also to when you get into a relationship. How many people get into relationships and become that other person,
Right away.
only not to want to be that
Or
person?
go from one to
Right.
back to back,
Yeah.
back to back, which is
Yeah,
which
they're
is-
searching for something.
Right.
You need
and
to
you're
take your-
you're never unpacking from
Right.
each
No.
relationship.
Yeah.
You're taking the same
You're
shitty
bringing that
suitcase
same
with
shit.
you.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
With
need
you
to
into
find
the next
yourself,
relationship.
figure yourself out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But what else there? What else?
I want to ask the ladies a question here. All right. There's two questions here. All right. So as stronger willed women, what do you actually look for in a man?
Good question.
Because I'm posting this and you're going to get some replies. So what are you actually looking for? Ellie, I'm talking about you.
I
I'm
feel like
looking at you.
eyeballs staring at me.
So what are you actually, I'm taking notes. So what are you actually looking for?
I think. Well, first of all, I would have to say when you meet somebody and you have to have an attraction, there's got to be a chemistry of some sort. But I want that person to be strong and be able to take care of themselves financially and emotionally. I believe, like if I would look for somebody that's going to be able to do that. I don't want to, at this stage of my life, to meet somebody and them not be secure about themselves and lean on me and say, like we were saying before, if you're in a place, why is that person staring at you? Why are you looking at that person? Why? They got to be secure in their own skin, and they have to be a strong individual as well.
That's a good one. Yeah.
For me,
Yeah, for me, I think, for me, God is a big part of my life. So he has to be a man of God, first and foremost for me. And then, he has to be funny. I mean, for me, if you're funny, like that's the new sexy. Like if you could make me laugh,
100%.
right, that takes you a long way, and that takes you through a lot of things if you can make each other laugh. So and again, he has to be able to be secure enough with himself to take me and my guy friends and my kids and their friends that hang out here and be part of that, and know that I have these big crazy parties and I have this United Nations of friends of all colors and religions. That's a huge part of who I am in my life.
Honestly, that could be a tough one. You have to be careful too when you are in a relationship. I feel like, no, maybe I deviated off that question, but with friends, if you're friends with a lot of males and whatnot, when you go into a relationship, I do believe some of that has to be pushed to the side a little bit. A little. I know it's hard, but I always try to reverse it. Like, especially if they don't know them. I think it's a little, sometimes it could be a little,
Look, I'm not. Here's my thing.
challenging.
I'm not saying that. I don't want you. These are my friends that I don't want. I want everybody to come together. You know what I mean? I mean, I want to show you that these are my guy friends, and you could hang out with them, and we can hang out together. And there's nothing like, oh, nothing like that.
What'd you say? Where you said no?
So I'm gonna tell you
That's
why.
very hard, I
I'm
think.
gonna tell you why I say
He
that.
said no.
Because that's a valid point that you're saying, Francesca, right? But then you have celebrities that have millions and millions of followers, like Steve Harvey, and he makes a comment that no woman could be friend with a man, because a man, if they're friends with you, but they're looking for that little window of opportunity to slide in.
100%. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't want to get into that, right? But
True, but
you said it.
It's true.
And I'm telling you, we've all been there.
Yeah.
And you
So
could be
so
friendly.
I'm really naive, okay? And I was dating a guy who was very jealous, and he said I had my church husband, who we've been friends for 10 years, so we've never dated, and he said, "Oh, your church husband would get at you if he could." And I was like, "Not a chance, no way." He said, "Ask him." I said, "Okay, fine." So I went and asked my church husband. Adrian said, "You would get at me if you could." He said, "Absolutely." I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was
No,
like,
I
"No
agree.
way."
Yeah.
It's true.
It's human nature. Men don't.
And there was a big, like, men were getting pissed about this because he's giving all
Yeah.
the secrets. But you have true, like, girl, like I have probably one or two girls that are friends of mine that could truly, truly state that I don't even look at them that way. But it's very rare. It's very, very rare.
It depends on how you're doing this. If you're at work, right? You have your work wife or whatever you got, or work husbands, whatever. Hey, how many affairs happened at work? But a lot.
Yeah,
a lot.
A lot.
Okay. It's a fine line.
is.
I would not, and I mean, it's a fine line.
Yeah.
That is a fine line to be friends, to have a lot of male friends, as a woman to have a lot of male friends, and a male to have a lot of female friends, because you're always going to have that little suspicion, especially if they start calling them at 10 o'clock at night, and you're there. No,
Oh, wow.
no, honey, she just had a problem with her
And then you
her
have to
sink,
explain
or her
it. You have to
cat threw
explain,
up. I don't.
Why is she calling you?
Why is she calling you? I think once you're in a relationship, some of that has to be set aside. You got to
does.
then
And
a little.
Out of
I
respect
don't know.
to the
Maybe
other person.
maybe I'm different, because if you had girlfriends, you're a guy and you have girlfriends. I don't get jealous. Like, I trust you until you give me a reason not to. I don't have time to worry about, is he doing this or who's he doing that. I don't have
I
time
agree.
for that shit. I'm
But
too
it's different.
old.
It's
So
different.
Yeah, that's
It's different
different.
for them.
Yeah. And that's why I said it's such a fine line. You know what's going on in the relationship. You know your husband or whoever you're dating at the time. I just feel that sometimes you constantly put the two people together.
I get you.
Somebody's
Go
going to
ahead,
cheat.
say it.
Somebody's
It's
going to
true.
cheat.
And the reason why I say it's different it's different when
Sorry.
men have a lot of women friends, right? Than when a woman has a lot of guy friends, because I'll be honest, it's harder for a man to get laid than it is for a woman, right? So
Is it? I don't know.
Yes.
I'm a woman, so I couldn't tell you.
yes,
100%.
a man
You
that
could
has
walk in-
a man that has a lot of women friends, he's not smashing all of them, right? He's
If
not.
any.
Men sleep with who they can. Women sleep with who they want.
Once. That's a good statement. That's true.
Well,
You could walk
Francisco,
in-
did you hear that?
Listen, you two
I
could
heard
walk
that.
in. Listen, you two could walk into a bar for 1 hour and pick up whoever really you wanted to, and then me and Frecky walk in and we sitting and look at each other for probably that hour.
Really?
Yes, 100%, 100%.
I mean, I guess I wouldn't know, because I just move along. I don't really pay attention. How about you, Francesca? You paying attention?
Yeah. No, I don't really.
So we're talking about being on data sites, but now these men are telling us that we can walk into any bar.
Anywhere.
And-
Now, I'm not saying the quality is
But
going to be good.
Well, that's it right there.
That's the
'Cause let's
difference.
face it,
The
I cannot
quality's
tell
not going
you-
to be good,
I'll be
but
honest
you
with you.
can get what you want.
Yeah. Wait, okay, maybe.
100%.
I mean, I'll be honest. There's times I walk into places, I'm like, do I have a sign over my head that says doghouse? Or I mean, I got all these fucking. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Sometimes, what, Phil?
Nothing.
What, you getting tired?
Come on.
No, it's literally, Ellie. I guarantee you, You walk up to any 10 dudes. I can just pick out 10 dudes.
Yep.
And 9 out of 10 of them will be like, yes. Right
After
now.
this podcast, we go find.
But again,
because you guys all
like
think
you said, for
we
like,
go
the quality may not.
Yeah,
be
a lot
to
of it's
your
the quality.
Right.
And that's where the head break.
And you all think with your dicks anyway, so I mean, that's we all know that.
So what else are we gonna chit chat about? What did we miss? I mean, there's a lot about being single, and we're single again.
Okay, I got a question.
So here we are.
I got a question. Right?
We're having fun though. We're having fun.
Yeah. Okay. So
That's what I wanted to talk about.
about being married, right? This is for the women. Okay.
That's
right?
actually in
Okay.
my note.
Is at this day and age, is there any benefit for a man to be married?
Or for us to be married?
No, for a
mean-
man,
For a man to be
to be
married.
married. Is there any benefit to be married? Because we get married, we get divorced, we lose pretty much everything. So
Well,
tell me your thoughts.
I'm just gonna. For what you said before, I'm gonna have to say to get laid. Because
Okay.
you said before you guys can't get laid.
No.
That was good.
Hopefully you get laid by your wives.
Well, no, it's not. It's, when you're in a relationship, it's a different story. We're talking about randomly. You know what? We're getting dressed. We're gonna go to the club. We're gonna go hang out. You could walk into that club and walk out with who you want to. We could go to that club.
We have
and
to try.
It's a fucking hunt.
Well, that's why I guess you guys should be married. As far as women, to answer your question, I'm gonna let Francesca answer that. Go ahead, and I'll jump in if I think of something.
So the question is, why would it be benefit for a man to get married?
What's the benefit
Yes.
of us to be married? Yes.
Taxes?
I
I don't
mean,
know.
no. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would think men think like women. I mean, you want a companion, you want somebody that could be your best friend that you can come home to and be a safe haven against the world. That knows somebody that is your ride or die. That's going to treat you. With kindness and compassion and love and be there for you. I think everybody, it's a human thing.
So I would agree with you if it was me, but like you said, I assume that men want what women want, and I think that's the biggest problem in relationship. Women, because men, let's face it, some men are very uneducated and they're stupid. They need to be told what they do, and I'm not talking shit about my males, but I mean, I took a lot of time and dedication to kind of understand the way the woman thinks, and the problem is that women think with both sides of your brain. Right, and when you're in a relationship with the man,
Well, someplace else too, they think
that,
sometimes.
so 3 times. Well, no, I'm talking about as a
okay.
woman. A woman thinks with 2 sides
Well,
of the
she
brain.
thinks of 3 sides.
That too. So, but what happens is you guys expect something from your man that you think they should understand that, and the newsflash is that they don't fucking know that. They don't
Well, that's
understand.
that old. Remember Man from Mars? What was that Man from
Men are
Mars?
from Mars.
Well,
women
Man
from
Venus.
Venus.
I read that, and
Venus, right.
it's true though.
Okay, so you're right.
Men
So you're
don't
pretty
know.
educated on that. Okay.
Men don't know. Like I have been in relationships where before I decided to take that journey where I started to self-develop and learn about it, like I used to have women get mad at me. I'm like, what the hell are you mad about? Like, you don't know what you're mad about? Like, I have no idea.
So you're saying that we need more. They need more communication.
They
This
need
is
to be
such an
spoken
old,
to
old.
like a child.
Everyone needs to communicate more when you are in a relationship.
More
communication.
More is more.
Don't assume. Right.
Ever.
Stop assuming that they
Right.
know what you're
Ever.
saying or thinking. I get that.
Yes.
But you have to want that as well.
Yeah.
Like now that we're single, I'm been single for a while, and I love it. I love it because I think I'm. Where's that song, Flowers?
I don't have that one.
Oh,
I
man, that
love
would have been perfect.
That's my new
definitely
favorite
block.
song.
That would have been a perfect. I give back
Yes.
myself.
Because and it's not that I think we get to a stage in our lives when especially when you had like a lot of bullshit, a lot of stuff happening in your life, that you get to a point that you're independent in every way. And as far as relationships or they'll say a lot of times, oh, you need someone to talk to. Well, I got a big family.
Yeah.
I have
Right.
kids.
And
I
I
have
get-
children. I have an ex-husband. No, I have that. I have all that. So as far as a relationship, I'm not even sure if I could even have one in my life. I've been
So
single.
You've been single for a long time, and then you said that you feel very independent.
I feel independent, and it's not that I enjoy being in the company of a man. Of course, it's normal. But it's like, okay, you can go now. No, wait, that's that masculine side coming out in me.
No? Do you feel like you still have a wall, though?
Huh?
Do you feel like you have a wall?
A
Is
wall?
that why you feel more independent alone?
It's like I think because if a man came in a natural way, like, you know what I tell people, men, and I've actually been out and I said, play hard to get. And he looked at me like I'm nuts.
For a man?
I tell a man, play
Absolutely.
hard to get. You're too easy. I've actually said that to a man.
Yeah.
You're too easy. Play hard to get.
Yeah.
And I think that's the hunter in us. Am I right a little bit, Francesca? What do you think about that a little? Do they need to play a little harder to get? Sometimes they conform too easy.
So it's very hard for a man to do that because kind of like the same example me and Fred were talking about, we walk in and it's a hunt for us. So for somebody
Right.
to even give us a glimpse of attention and feel a vibe and just be like,
I'm just telling men you'll get more if you back that shit down.
All right, that's a good
Yeah,
start.
I mean, for me, I
back
don't
it down
like
a
when
little.
they're all over me.
Yeah.
And,
See,
you know
that's
what I mean?
different.
Well,
Yeah.
it's just, it leads up to that, but I just I think being single, we have freedom. You can come and go as you please.
Yes.
Spend what you want, do what you want. Now, when you're in a relationship, and I think that's what it is too. I take relationships serious,
Holding
and that's why
accountability.
I didn't go right back into one because it's like I don't think I could do it, and I'm not going to get into a relationship and be an asshole. To me, you don't do it. You stay single.
Right.
You have to know what you are and who you are.
You like your freedom.
I like my freedom.
There's nothing
Where
like that.
so when you meet somebody and they're asking you questions like, "Oh, you didn't pick up your phone," and it's like no. It's like, why am I going to just pick up my phone?
Yeah.
I was working.
Awkward ass position.
Am I right? I was like, why didn't you pick up your phone? I called you 3 times today. I'm like, and men will say women do that. That women can do. I see men are the same way.
Yeah.
They'll do the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
thing. It's got to be done in a flow. I think relationships, for me, it has to be a flow. I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I was an only child, so I know a lot of women say, they want to be in a relationship because they're lonely. I'm an only child, so I like being alone. I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? I have friends if I want to go out. It's not that I need a man in my life. I would like a man in my life.
Gotcha.
And
But
think
if I
that's why
had a
men
man,
are
and
different.
I want my man to feel like he's needed.
Yeah,
And I think sometimes some women get that too independent thing in their head and they don't let a man in to be a man, do what he's supposed to do.
Well, yeah, but even some men don't want that. Some men want to kind of come and go, but they also, they want that too, but they don't want to be, some men don't want to be totally leaned on either.
Yeah.
They don't.
So I have a question for you.
And then, go ahead.
And real quick, for a man's perspective, right? So guys meet a girl, they take them out, they date them and they pay for stuff, and then the next day, it becomes a pattern. At least in my world, how do you, Francesca, feel about you guys paying for the guy?
I paid for men. I have.
Okay.
I've been out,
Francesca?
and, and the bill
Well, you
comes.
pick it up with no question, like, I got this?
First of all, I don't really go on a date like that.
They got money.
But
What was that?
what?
Because they got money.
Wait,
So
cougars.
that's
Did we not say we were cougars? No,
They got money. That's the problem. I'm dealing with a bunch of broke.
wait, yeah, but no, I don't think anything's wrong with that. Yeah, you would date broke asses. That's what you're dating.
I guess that's
because
right.
if I'm there and there's a bill and I got a couple drinks, absolutely, I'll pick up the bill, and that's common for me. I do that for some of the female friends, male friends. I don't even
Because I do it
think like
forever.
that.
I'm always doing, and my kids always tell me, Dad, stop being Captain Save-A-Ho.
Yeah, you're right. Don't keep buying those
They
bitches.
really
Those
feel-
bitches will drain you. They'll bleed you dry. Don't keep
Yeah.
buying their stuff. Back that off. You need to back
Okay,
that.
okay. So I'm old school. Maybe I'm old school, maybe
Okay,
because,
Okay, so let me hear what you say.
Okay, so I'm old school. I think if we go out a few times, 1 or 2, 3 times, and you're paying, I let you pay. You're the man. I mean, eventually I'll say, hey, I'll take you out to dinner, or I'll pick up dinner, or whatever it is. But I think the first few times for me, you got to be the man. I'm old school.
Okay,
I'm
no,
sorry.
I'm
yeah.
not.
Yeah, I
I'm
think-
not opposed to that.
Yeah, but I think it was something different.
I'm not opposed to that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about. So let's say we dated. I've taken you on 4 or 5 different dates. On the 6th
Oh, then
date,
I'm gonna pay. Yeah, I'm
on
gonna
the
pay.
6th date,
Yeah.
we go have dinner, drinks come, the bill comes. Do you sit there
Right.
and assume,
No,
or
but-
do you grab the bill and say, "I got this"?
I got it. I got this.
Yeah, and let me and honestly, what you said, there's a lot of that too, and that's another whole podcast. But we're gonna have to wrap this up. But I gotta say, I really enjoyed being with Francesca and Joseph, And hey, we may be doing this again sometime
Man, that
soon.
was really fun.
Yes, that would be great.
Yeah, we got
I
so
think
much more.
there's a lot more content we can
Oh
cover
my God,
here.
there's so
Yes.
many more things we can
Oh,
be
yeah.
talking about.
That was good stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a
All
good
right, so-
mix.
Francesca, any final words?
Look, I think that everybody that's single out there or that's in a bad relationship, you really need to be happy with yourself. You need to, whatever it takes to be happy with yourself. Because if you're not happy with yourself, you can't make anybody else happy. So
True.
that's my
All right.
bottom line.
Joseph, what about you?
I will say this, and I'm a very true believer of this. Regardless of everything we said today and all the different experiences we had, I really focus on the fact that you need to really be open-minded and know how your brain functions and works. Because if you have control of your thoughts and you know how it functions, it will open you up to having better relationships with friends, with romantic partners, with your family. And I think a lot of people in this world don't take the time to invest in their minds. And our minds is the most powerful tool we have, and yet we don't treat it the way we should.
No, that's another whole podcast about manifestation
right.
and mind, and that'll be another one that's coming down the pike.
Cool.
Yeah, and I agree with what both you've said. But the biggest thing, like, you got to know who you are.
Yes.
Take that time and sit back and figure yourself out. And there's too many monkey swingers or jumping from one to the other. As soon as they get out of it, they're like, I gotta have another one. I gotta have another one.
Yep.
Sit the fuck back, man. Chill out. Chill out. Find yourself. But anyway,
My final words are: if you're a female and you're my friend, I'm trying to smash. Just saying.
you what? I didn't hear it.
He's trying
I'm
to
trying
smash.
to smash. You're,
Wow.
What is that?
He says, if you're my female friend, I'm trying to smash.
Oh, what happened? My headset must have got loose.
all right, Ellie, let's get out of here. All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.